Hey y'all, here are 5 exercises you could do to support your low back and hips. So all you're going to need is some type of a sturdy chair, and make sure your chair is on something like a yoga mat where it's not going to slip. We've got 2 strength moves, a squat from the chair and a calf raise. And then we've got 3 stretches, a hip stretch, a quad stretch, and a calf stretch. Come do with me. So make sure your chair is on a sturdy, non-slip surface. You're going to sit on the edge of your chair, and it's totally cool to use your hands here against your legs to help you stand up. You're going to lean forward, push your feet down into the floor, stand up. That's 1. We're going to do 10 of these, guys. Have a seat on the edge of your chair. Lean forward, stand up. That's 2. If this makes you nervous with your feet this far away from the chair, reach back as you sit down and hang on to the seat of the chair. That's 3. I'm going to keep going. Look for the chair with your fingertips if you need to. That's 4. I'm hinging at my hips, bending at my knees and my ankles. Push your hands into your legs if you need to. I'm talking and counting. I think I got 5. Chair squats. Last 4. I'm going moderately slow so that I can track my knees going straight ahead over my toes. Was that 10? I think that was 10. Yeah, we got calf raise coming up next. I'm going to come to the other side of my chair. This is fairly low for me. I'm 5'7", so I got to watch that if I'm using this as my little balance buddy, I don't tilt over or crunch over to my chair. So find something if you need a little fingertip to rest, just to give you a little balance help. If that feels easy, you can take your hands off the chair. I'm just lifting and lowering my heels. I'm going to do 5, 4. I'm pressing up onto my tippy toes. Last 1. I'm going to flip the chair around and just go through that again, showing from the front. Some things I could watch for as I stand up, not letting my knees cave in. So I'm just tracking my knees straight out over my toes, standing all the way up to that really tall position. Sitting, that's 2. Standing up, push the floor away. So this is a simple move, 3, but not easy to get right. Here's 4. I'm spreading my toes, pushing them into the floor. Here's 5. I'm breathing. 6. 7. Remember, if this makes you nervous looking for the chair, you can always reach back with your fingertips and hang on to it. I got 2 to go. To make my last one is number 10. Stand all the way up. So I feel my legs working, my hips working, everybody's working to help me get up out of the chair. So I'm going to face y'all just to show what it looks like from the front. I got one hand on my little balance buddy. I'm lifting and lowering my heels. I'm organized through my torso, and I'm picturing going straight up to the ceiling, like I'm getting sucked up into like a skylight on the ceiling. If you need it, you've got your little balance buddy, or you can come to the wall. I'm going to do last 4. Straight knees. Ankles are straight, so I'm not doing any kind of funny business with my ankles. 2. Okay, so that was your squat and your calf raise, which I would put in the strength category for strengthening your hips, strengthening your legs, which is a really good thing to do if you have back issues, if you suffer from low back tightness from time to time or weakness. While we're standing, we'll go ahead and do our calf stretch. I'm going to push my heel into the floor. All 10 toes are pointing straight ahead. I'm going to give us a solid minute here in this calf stretch. Breathing. So these exercises are meant for, you've done some strength training, you just tend to have tightness in your back, which is an issue that I have from time to time. If you are in an acute state of back distress, whatever that may be, if you've been diagnosed with a disc issue, if you've had a recent surgery, these might not be suitable for you. So I do have another video that I'll link below to where if you're really in a delicate state that has more gentle exercises, we got 15 seconds here on our minute. You could also soften your back knee and then straighten it. So these are meant for you if you're moderately active and you just want a little, make sure you're doing stuff to strengthen and stretch your hips and your legs. Okay, that was our 1 minute. We're going to switch sides. So calf strength, and then now we're doing a calf stretch. I've got all 10 toes pointing straight ahead. And I'll show from the front what this looks like. So my back heel is pushing into the ground. You could also come to the wall and push your hands into the wall. We're about halfway through our minute. You want to try bending and straightening your back knee. None of this should hurt your legs or your wrists. Should feel like a stretch down the back of your leg into your ankle, calf. One more big deep breath. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck. And then while we're here, we'll go ahead and do the standing quad stretch. So this is a good way to work on your balance as well. I'm going to pick up my left foot and with my left hand, try to grab my heel or my ankle. If you're not able to grab your foot, you can strap your foot with a strap or a towel or a band. Now watch for this. If I bring my knee forward, I'm not really stretching my quad. If I can get my knee to point straight down, or even go back behind me a little bit, now I feel a big old stretch down the front of my quad and hip flexor. Okay, let's see what time. I'm gonna give us another 30 seconds here. So I'm thinking of pushing this left hip forward as my left knee goes back. And I'll show again from the side. I'm extending through the front of my hip and pulling my heel towards my bum. One more big deep breath. If you don't need your balance buddy, you could take your hand off. All right, we're going side number 2. You ready? Get sorted out on this second leg. You can turn your hand out and try to grab a hold of your foot, top of your foot or your ankle. Drop your ribs down. Lengthen the back of your neck. Drop your knee down and maybe even take your knee back behind you. So I'll show this one from the back. See how my foot is kind of lined up with the middle of my butt cheek. So I'm not bringing my leg out to the side. I'm thinking knee down and back. And draw my foot towards my bum. And breathe. Okay, so that was about 30 seconds. We're going to have a seat and do our hip stretch. If you have another hip stretch you like, there's pigeon, there's lots of versions of this. This is nice to do from a seated position. So I'm going to lift my left foot and cross it over my right. This might be a challenge if you've got limited hip mobility. So you might need to help with your hands. So be nice to your knee. Some of us have more tightness in our hip where that knee is going to stick up to the ceiling. If you're able to let this knee drop, do so. That might already feel like a nice hip stretch. If you're able to let that knee drop and lean forward, that's an even deeper hip stretch. So you get to decide what version you're doing today. So you can support your leg with your hand. You could even gently encourage your knee towards the floor. Gently. Easy does it. And then leaning forward would give you a more intense stretch. Okay, we're going to switch legs, and I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing on this second side. So I'm going to pick up my leg. Can I get my ankle across? And then this side might be different. So easy does it, letting your knee drop towards the floor. I feel a big stretch in the back of my butt, maybe hinging forward. Breathing. So if you need a break, if you need to come out of this, come out. None of this should hurt your knee. If it feels like a good stretch back here, that's what we're going for. But if you feel any pain in your knee, just stop. Nothing we do should hurt. We're going to breathe here, a few more breaths. You can come in and out of this. You can gently push down with your other leg. You could just sit upright. That might be plenty of a stretch for today. Okay, so we had 2 strength moves, a squat going from a seated position to standing, a calf raise where you lift your heels. Then we had your calf stretch, your stretch for the front of your leg, quad stretch, and a hip stretch for the back of your butt. If you are suffering from tightness in your back or weak muscles in your hips, try this routine maybe every other day for just about as long as I just did it. 2 reps of 10 of each of the strength, 30 seconds of each of the stretches, and report back. Let me know how you feel.